Oke, selamat pagi semuanya. Ya, terima kasih yang udah join di webinar pada pagi hari ini. Dengan saya Novita Nasa, seperti biasa, saya akan menjadi host pada webinar hari ini. Dan speaker kita hari ini adalah Mr. Brian Olufsen from CFO Associates Asia yang akan berdiskusi tentang cash flow management. Dan ada Ibu Sekar Arum yang akan share tentang tax regulation in Indonesia, sekaligus memperkenalkan sedikit tentang bagaimana Profhub can help in tax administration. Oke, langsung aja, I will hand over the session with Mr. Brian.
Good morning, everyone. Selamat datang ke ini webinar. Bapa dan ibu-ibu. I hope everyone's well today. I'm going to take about 15 to 20 minutes, and we're just going to talk about managing cash flow in the current crisis. Let me get up my screen. Just give us a couple of minutes here. And just let me share my screen with you and I'll get the slides up. Just give me a minute. Thank you. I think we can all see that. If anyone can't see that, just let Novi know. And we shall progress, and I hope everyone's having a good day so far. Look, a little bit about myself. I am a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, and also the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants. 25 years in practice in commercial environments. Far too long to be an accountant for my liking, but this is what I do. I've had over 15 years experience in Southeast Asia. I lived and worked in Jakarta for 4 years, and most recently in Singapore for the past 10 years. About 9 years ago, I founded CFO Associates Asia. We are a consultancy which provide accounting and financial services. We focus on small businesses, startups, and businesses looking to come to Southeast Asia and expand their economic opportunities there. We have an office in Singapore, one in Jakarta, one in Bali, and we're in the process of opening up in Australia, and my contact details are there. And look, I will say to everyone on the call, after this, if you have any queries or questions or would like any further information, you can just feel free to email me at that address and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. So that's an open invitation for anyone wanting to follow up. Cash flow management. Look, cash flow is just paramount, and it's vital to every business, particularly every small business. Small businesses, as we often know, exist on very thin cash flows. They don't have a big buffer of cash. They primarily survive on what they make either week to week, month to month, and at the most probably quarter to quarter. Most small businesses that I know only have cash reserves probably for 2 or 3 months. So they need to keep working, they need to keep invoicing clients, they need to keep operating to keep their cash flow cycle generating. Because they're smaller businesses, they often lack leverage with both their customers and their suppliers. They also have, essentially, limited access to funds. They're in a bit of a no man's land area. They're probably too big, some of them are too big to borrow from, say, family and friends, but they're also too small to be able to seek external funding from a bank or, to look for genuine equity partners. So, there's many small businesses in all communities and all countries. In fact, the SME community often makes up about 80% of the economy of most countries. Depends on your definition of an SME. So if SMEs are struggling in countries, you know, the economy is really bad. So in that regard, you know, their management of cash flow is just vital and it's extremely important to them. In terms of, you know, cash flow management, you know, there's not a lot of science here and there's not a lot of levers that you can pull. You know, primarily you can only, you know, accelerate your collections and look to manage and defer your payments to get the cash flow cycle in your favour. It isn't rocket science. A lot of it just comes back to practical application in relationships, you know, with your customers and also your suppliers. And primarily that's what we're going to go through today. So if we look at the first part, and that's managing your cash inflow. In my view, managing your cash inflow is the key. If you're collecting your cash and building up some cash reserves, what it does, it basically starts to relieve pressure on your business. If you've got cash in the bank, you can then do something with that. You can, you know, it's nice to make a profit, but you can only do things with cash. And if you're collecting your debtors quickly, it means you can do something with that cash, either expand your business, or it just relieves pressure, you know, on suppliers and your supply chain and things like that. So if we look at some collection techniques here, there's what we refer to as softer collection techniques. You know, you can email customers and clients, you can send them letters, you can send them automated text and WhatsApp messages and the like. And these serve a purpose. They just serve as a reminder, you know, to your customer and your client that their bill's outstanding and they need to pay it. However, these can be just very easily avoided. You know, emails can be deleted, you know, WhatsApp and text messages just simply ignored. So they're very soft and in my view, don't have, you know, really much foundation in helping you, you know, collect your debtors. In my view, the very best way to collect your debtors is pick up the phone and speak to your client or your customer. Most people, you know, as people, we don't like confrontation of any level. And so when someone picks up the phone and wants to speak to you, you know it's very serious if you're a customer. And, you know, they will have to take the call. And, you know, there's two ways here. You can be very assertive. You can, you know, demand that they make payment, or certainly in the current environment, you can be very supportive and very consultative. You know, and work together with your customer and your client to help them through their own, you know, their own challenges as well. And I'll share I'll share a couple of experiences here. When I worked in Indonesia back in the late 1990s, and for a lot of you people, you know, you're probably still at high school, maybe even primary school, I don't know. But, you know, this was the height of the Asian economic crisis. Everyone was having problems, you know, collecting their debtors. The regional CFO had come down from Hong Kong and said, look, we've got a real problem here. You know, what are we going to do? And he said, Brian, you know, you're the CFO here. Go out and employ someone to collect your debtors. And I said, Frank, that's nice, but, you know, it's going to add cost to our business. He said, Brian, I assure you I've done this. They will pay for themselves in 3 months. Now, we were very lucky. We secured a very good person. He was very professional. He was very polite. He went around, he rang up, he went around to all our outstanding clients, and he cleaned up our outstanding debtors in the space of 6 months. At the height of the Asian economic crisis, we had average days debtors down to 35 days, which was the best in the group in the Southeast Asian region. And we had cash in the bank. We were much better ahead of most of our customers, most of our clients, and most of our competitors. And that was a valuable lesson for me. in terms of collecting cash and also applying the right resources to go and do that. Now, in my own business at the moment, the approach I've taken, I'm a very small business, very small consultancy. I've taken the approach of being very supportive and consulting to my clients. I speak with them regularly. They have cash flow issues. We work together. They may not be able to pay off all their invoice in time, but we ask, and because we're very nice to them, they're able to pay their debt down, regularly. The view I've taken here, and the reason for that, is that I want to keep my clients. I don't want to get them offside. I understand, their position in the current crisis, that they need to keep their cash to keep their business going. But as long as we all work together, understand each other, we're all in a very good position, to get out at the back end of the current crisis collectively and make sure that our cash keeps moving through our system. So there's a couple of ways to look at collecting debtors. If your debt really goes bad, if the client's not, responding to you in any manner, if they're not returning calls, as I said, if you don't have someone that can go on your behalf and collect them, you can then consider, just writing the debt off, not dealing with the client again, and then, just handing it off to a collection agency. And they will charge you a fee for doing that, or a percentage of the debt, but at least you'll recover some cash there. Now, okay, so that's basically collection techniques. A couple of things are important there, and that is simply, you've got to invest time into this. And if you invest time into collecting your cash, you will have a much better chance of getting the cash flow cycle in your favour. It's also important, in my view, to retain good customer and client relationships. If you're doing that, you're telling the customer, I understand your difficulties, but I do need some cash, and let's work together to get this done. Out of that, you're probably likely to keep that client for a much longer period of time, and that will help, sustain your business through the current environment and also going forward. Another way so that's what you do internally to keep all your debtors. Another way there is to simply, if you need cash immediately, excuse me, what you can do is what we refer to as factoring your debtors. So you can take either some or all of your debtors and you can sell them to a debtor factoring business. What you do there is you basically transfer the right of the collection of that cash to another party. They will pay you a fee for that. Normally it's a percentage of the debtors that you're passing over to them. It can be anywhere between a charge of 20%, sometimes up to 50% of the value of the debtors. And that depends on what they assess as being, the collectability and the value of that debtor. So what this does for you immediately, if you're desperately in need of cash, to basically either discharge a loan or to, you've got severe pressure from some of your creditors, this will get you cash in the door immediately. And again, help relieve some of that pressure on your business. What it will mean is that you will not therefore be able to collect 100% of your debtors, because you've given up the right to those debtors, and the company that buys them have taken on the risk of collecting them, and they want a fee for that, and they want to earn a margin out of that business. I will say that you need to be a bit cautious here, because some of your customers and clients may interpret this that your business has some financial difficulty, and they therefore may become reluctant to deal with you in the future. And it gets back to what I said earlier. It's about managing client relationships here. You need to be speaking to your clients in the current environment to let them know, A, that they need to pay their debtor to you, because we all need to collect cash. Or if you're factoring debtors, you just need to clearly explain to them that your business is fine, but you just need a larger amount of cash immediately and you're handing it off to someone else. So as I said, just to round that up, you know, look at the collection techniques. There's no rocket science there. It's really just a matter of getting out and chasing the debtors. You know, having good relationships with your customers, your clients, and if you're in desperate need of a larger amount of cash, you know, they're an asset. You can consider selling them off, and you know, having someone pay you for that, not the full value, but it gives you cash in your business straight away. So let's look at cash outflow. So as I said, there's two parts of cash flow. That's cash inflow, collecting your debtors, and then cash outflow. So the name of the game here is to collect your debtors quicker than what you pay your suppliers. That's how you build up good, positive, and sustainable cash flow. But
sorry, Mr. Brian, excuse me. Any question for you?
Say again?
Any question for you?
Oh, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. When is the time to hand over debt collection to debt collector? The second, what is percent fee? What would be the damage on client relationship? Can we recover it?
Okay, so the first one, so the first question was, when is the time to hand it over to a debt collection agency?
Yes.
Okay, so let me answer that first.
Debt collection to debt collector.
To a debt collector, yep, okay, good. So this is a judgment you've got to make in your own business. And primarily, you know, I think it becomes a time, you know, when, you know, the cost and the time that you're spending in trying to collect the debt outweighs the amount of money that you're going to collect. And you've got to assess a number of things here. You know, is it worth your time, money, and effort to continue you chasing the client internally? You know, is that, you know, on that basis, is that a client or a customer that you want to continue dealing with again? And also, you know, if you hand it off to a debt collector, what is going to be the potential damage to your relationship? I will say this, I think once you've made that decision and handed it off to a debt collector, you know, you've really assessed yourself that, you know, this is a client or a customer that, you know, has a lot of difficulty in paying and you really don't want to be dealing with them again. You basically, once you hand it off to a debt collector or a debt collection agency, you've really ended your relationship with that client or customer. And what you're looking to do is simply recover money that's outstanding. And, you know, as a business, as debts become more aged, you've got to consider, do you want to extend in credit to that customer anymore? So if a client hasn't paid you for 4 months and he still wants to buy goods and services from you, you've got to consider whether they're going to be able to pay for those new services because they haven't been able to pay for those old services. So it becomes a business judgment. And just to reiterate some key factors there, that your time and the cost of collecting debtor internally outweighs the money to be recovered. You know, what you assess to be the current financial status of that customer, and also the fact is you've probably reached a point where it's a customer you no longer want to deal with and all you want to do is get the money back and move on to other business and other clients. Does that answer the question?
Okay, no, I think just it. No, not yet.
Sorry,
Hello.
say again. Yes.
Yes, I think that's all.
Okay.
Or do you? Sorry.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no,
Mr. Brian.
yeah, no, that's okay. And as I said, look, you know, if you know, I'll endeavour to answer the questions as best I can. If I don't, as I said, people can certainly email me after the webinar, and I can follow up with more detail.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go on to cash outflow. So as I said, there's two elements to cash management. That's cash inflow and cash outflow. And just to repeat, the name of the game here is to collect your debtors quicker than what you pay your suppliers. That gives you sustainable cash in your business. In all honesty, everyone's doing this. You've just got to try and be equal and better than your customers and your suppliers and your competitors than doing this. So some considerations, in cash outflow and paying your suppliers. You need to look to prioritise essential suppliers. What service providers and suppliers are key to your business? Some things in this regard are things like Listric or electricity. If you're not paying your electricity bill, they'll just turn it off and your business will probably grind to a halt at that point. The other thing is, if you're selling goods, who are your key suppliers that are supplying you with product that you need, that you then on sell to your customers and clients. So you need to maintain the value in your supply chain. You need to make sure that, goods and services are coming through to you. So you need to look at your business, look at what's key to keeping your business going. Who are those priorities? And you need to make sure that they're paid first before other non-essential suppliers. I'll give you an example. I provide as I said, an accountancy and a finance consultancy business. I know I'm not essential to my customers to keep their business running. We do their accounts, we do their tax returns, and we basically do that, mostly on an annual basis. I go ahead and do it, and then I invoice them after that. So I'm not essential to keeping their business going. What's essential to keeping their business going is paying their employees, paying their rent, paying their electricity, paying their suppliers. So you need to understand where you are, what value you have to your customers and clients. You also need to understand where your suppliers rank in terms of what priorities they have to you. And in the current situation, to keep your business going, pay your priority suppliers first and then manage your other suppliers at a later date. Certainly look, to extend those things as far as possible. So there's some things that you can do here. Try and push the payment out as far as possible, again, without, disturbing or, sort of destroying the relationship that you have with your suppliers. And again, as I said, with cash inflow, pick up the phone and have a conversation with them. In my view, this is, the easiest thing to do. Be honest, be transparent. Just say, look, you're having cash flow difficulties. Can I seek an extension of time for the payment? Most people in the current environment understand that, and most of them will be obliging, is my experience. Or if it's a larger debt that's maybe an essential supplier, just say, look, I can't pay all your debt this month. I'd like to pay it off over 3 months. What you're doing there, you're engaging with them. You're letting them know, look, I'm having cash flow problems. You are important to me, and I will pay your debt. You've continued to establish the relationship with them. The third thing you can try and do is, if it's outstanding, and again, this comes back to, this is the other side of handing it off to a debt collector. Just try and negotiate the amount down to a much lower amount. If you owe them, I don't know, say, and I don't know who the supplier would be, let's say you owe them 100 billion rupiah for goods or services, you can just say, look, I don't have that amount of money. I'll pay you 75 million rupiah, and that's all I can afford to pay you. Now, the outcome of that is probably two things. That supplier will probably never supply you with goods or services again, because you haven't paid them in full, and you've probably, sort of disturbed your relationship with them. So you've got to make sure that if you do something like that, you have alternative suppliers that you can go to provide you for those goods and services. For you, it means that you've paid the supplier, but you haven't paid them the full amount. You've actually negotiated a lower level. So the good thing is you've paid them less than what you contracted them for. The bad thing is, as a supplier, they're probably never going to deal with you again. So you've got to weigh up you know, the risks of doing this to your own business in terms of, you know, seeking an extension, paying it off over a period of time, or just negotiating a lower amount. I had a, a client some years ago, excuse me, you know, I invoiced them for services. He said, look, you know, it's been a while, you know, I know we've discussed this, but I don't want to pay that full amount. I said, okay, fine. And I reduced the amount from $2,000 down to $1,500. And in all honesty, I never went back and did business with him again. And I did that because if I, you know, from my point of view, if I didn't do that, he may not have paid me at all. So I wanted to secure some cash, but he's not worth my problems, you know, dealing with again. And it gives me time to go on and look at other customers for my business. Okay, a few other things in terms of managing your cash flow. So what we've gone through there is cash inflow and cash outflow, and that's in the ongoing operations of your business. But other ways to sort of increase your cash flow is, you know, look at some borrowings. A loan will give you some immediate injections of funds into your business. That will help relieve, you know, supplier, you know, pressure, and it means you've just got to deal with one financial institution to repay a loan. The downside of that is most banks and financial institutions want some security. They will want a mortgage over, you know, your house, a block of land, or some other asset that you've got. Banks and financial institutions don't like taking risks. You know, they're happy to lend you the money, but they want to make sure that you've got security, you know, to cover the loan in case that you default. The other way to look at getting cash into your business is to seek, you know, an equity partner. Now, there's some advantages and disadvantages of this. It really adds no cost to your business. You're not putting at risk any personal assets as collateral, and you don't really have to, you know, provide your bank with quarterly financial statements, you know, to show that you're going okay. On the other side is, we've all had some experience of this, bringing partners into a business can be fraught with danger and have a lot of frustration. You know, the selection of a partner, if you're going to get equity, is very important. You've got to make sure you're on the same wavelength, that you have the same objectives and the same outcomes. The other thing is, you know, this is your business. You've worked very hard for it, and you're giving away a percentage of the ownership. So you've got to be very comfortable, you know, and very conscious of what you're doing with both of those, what your objectives are in either getting, you know, debt into your business or seeking an equity partner. And if you're getting an equity partner, you've got to be somewhat patient, and you've both got to be aligned as to the outcomes of what you're looking for there. Now, look, just to wrap this up now, I've taken a little bit more time than what I should have. You know, in my view, cash is king in any business, particularly in the current environment, crisis or not. It will always be king. You know, cash is what drives your business. It's what gives you the cash to either expand your business, you know, pay off your suppliers, you know, or distribute dividends back to yourself and other shareholders. Cash is very different to profit. Cash is what makes businesses, you know, function and operate. What I will say is, in managing your cash flow, you need to be prepared to invest some time into doing it. It doesn't do it itself. If you don't invest time into it, you know, your debtors will become, you know, more aged, and the more aged they become, the more difficult they are to collect. As we used to say, you know, in terms of a sale, collecting the cash is the last thing in a client sale or a client transaction. And if we don't collect the cash, we've just all wasted our time in doing the assignment or, you know, selling that good to that client. So if you don't collect the cash, you've just wasted your time. Look, as I said, you need to consider all these things. You know, as I said, the techniques are fairly straightforward. They're not rocket science. You need to, you know, you just need to focus on the basic fundamentals in terms of, collections, customer relationships, and also managing your suppliers. But what I will say is you need to invest time into it. If you don't, it can start to take up much more time in your business than what it needs to, and that can then have an impact on your ongoing operations. Look, that's really all. And as I said, it's not, it's not a difficult or technical process. It's a matter of just sticking at it and sticking to the fundamentals. But it is an ongoing process. And if you do those things, you'll get the cash flow and the cash cycle in favour of your business. They're my thoughts and they're my experiences there. So look, that's all. That's all I've got to say. Is there any further questions, in regard to that?
Yes, Mr. Brian, any question? Okay. If we are seeking equity, what is the max percent should we give away to make business owners not less motivated?
Right, okay. That's a very good question. And I've had that question proposed to me, several times over a number of years. And look, there is no answer to that question. And again, this is dependent on, a couple of things. It's on how much you're looking to raise and how much you're wanting to give away. It also depends on how desperate you are for the cash as well. Once you give away equity to a business partner for money, it is going to be very difficult to get that back. And there's some disaster stories, that are well documented, and you can go to the internet and search for them on people that have given away equity and it's just gone terribly wrong. And look, I'm sorry, there is no template, there is no answer to that. You need to make that assessment. And you need to make the assessment. What you need to do is get, an idea of the value of your business. What is your business worth on the market? If it's a small business, you can probably do that yourself. If it's a larger business, you can go to a professional accounting firm or a professional valuation firm, and they will give you an idea of the value of your business. And then you can really do some maths and just go, well, if my business is worth $1 million and I'm seeking to raise 100,000, I'm prepared to give away 10%, no more. But at the end of the day, this just becomes a point of negotiation between you and the equity partner on how much you want to give away, how much you want to raise, and how desperate you are for that. And I'm sorry, but that is my answer. Because there is no definitive answer to that question. So.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brian. Okay.
Okay, good. Are there any more questions there, Novi?
Not yet.
Okay, good. Look, as I've said, look, I hope all I've done here today is share my experiences, in cash flow management and techniques. I hope it was of value to you. And as I said, if any of you have any further queries or questions on the topic or other matters, you can just feel free to email me, and I'll endeavour to come back to you as soon as I can. I'm more than happy to do that. And I'll hand it back to Novi.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brian. I will switch the session for Sekar. Oke, Sekar, silakan.
Oke, sebentar. Oke, terima kasih Novi sebelumnya. Di sini kembali dengan saya Sekararung. Di sini saya akan sedikit mereview tentang pelaporan SPT orang pribadi tahun 2020 yang baru aja selesai kita lakukan kayak gitu. Nah, saya mau tanya sedikit nih. Di sini Bapak dan Ibu sudah melaporkan SPT tahunannya atau belum? Kalau belum, Nanti mungkin kita bisa sedikit membantu bagaimana cara melaporkannya dan cara menghitungkan pajak tahunan Bapak dan Ibu. Ya, di sini kita mulai masuk ke materi. Nah, pajak, apa sih pajak? Nah, di sini saya akan sedikit menjelaskan tentang pajak merupakan salah satu kontribusi kita sebagai warga negara untuk membantu pemerintah dalam mensejahterakan dan memberikan kemakmuran terhadap rakyatnya. Dengan cara apa? Dengan cara kita membayar pajak. Nah, dari pajak tersebut tuh bisa membantu pemerintah untuk melakukan banyak pembangunan, banyak kayak contohnya adanya rumah sakit, terus bisa pembangunan untuk sekolah-sekolah dan juga sarana-sarana umum lainnya kayak gitu. Nah, juga di sini juga ada SPT tahunan atau surat pemberitahuan tahunan yang digunakan oleh wajib pajak orang pribadi maupun badan yang digunakan untuk menghitung, menyetorkan serta melaporkan pajak terhutang mereka pada tahun pajak tersebut. Nah, contohnya untuk wajib pajak orang pribadi batas pelaporannya maksimum itu tanggal 31 Maret 2020 untuk SPT tahunan 2019 tahun lalu kayak gitu. Nah, untuk yang pajak badan atau perusahaan itu maksimal pelaporannya pada tanggal 30 April tahun berikutnya atau 30 April tahun 2020 untuk pelaporan tahunan masa 2019 kayak gitu. Nah, di sini saya juga akan sedikit menjelaskan tentang macam-macam jenis formulir yang kita gunakan untuk SPT orang pribadi. Ada 3 jenis formulir. Yang pertama itu adalah formulir 1770 SS, di mana formulir ini digunakan untuk karyawan yang memiliki penghasilan tidak melebihi dari 60 juta per tahunnya. Jadi kalau ada Bapak dan Ibu yang sudah memiliki NPWP dan penghasilan setahunnya itu tidak melebihi 60 juta, maka bisa menggunakan formulir 1770 SS ini. Dan yang kedua adalah formulir 1770S. Formulir ini digunakan untuk karyawan yang memiliki pekerjaan satu dan bahkan lebih dari satu pemberi kerja. Dan jadi kalau misalnya kita mempunyai pekerjaan dari 3 tempat kerja. Nah, untuk pajaknya itu menggunakan formulir 1770S dan dipastikan lagi untuk penghasilan setahunnya itu sudah melebihi 60 juta per tahun kayak gitu. Nah, yang terakhir adalah formulir 1770 polos. Formulir ini berbeda dengan formulir 1770 SS dan juga formulir 177S. Karena formulir ini digunakan untuk wajib pajak yang melakukan kegiatan usaha dan juga para tenaga ahli seperti pekerja bebas yang tidak memiliki keterikatan terhadap kerja secara langsung. Maksudnya pekerja bebas di situ kayak misalnya tenaga ahli dokter, terus ada konsultan, ada notaris, ada juga kayak pengacara, terus juga ada freelancer, itu bisa menggunakan formulir 1770 polos ini. Nah, saya lupa sedikit menjelaskan tentang SPT untuk formulir SPT orang badan atau perusahaan. Itu bisa menggunakan formulir 1771. Akan tapi sebelum kita menggunakan formulir tersebut, kita harus terlebih dahulu membuat laporan pembukuan, laporan keuangan perusahaan tersebut. Jadi setelah kita sudah membuat pembukuannya, kita baru bisa menghitung berapa besarnya pajak yang terhutang perusahaan tersebut. Nah, nanti baru kita mulai masuk ke mengisi formulir di form 1771 tersebut, kayak gitu. Nah, untuk batas pelaporannya kayak tadi saya sudah jelaskan, untuk SPT tahunan badan itu maksimal tanggal 30 April tahun berikutnya. Ya, di sini saya akan sedikit menjelaskan.
Sorry, ada di-cut sebentar, ini ada pertanyaan.
Oke.
Aku bantu bacain ya. Kalau kos-kosan atau sebagai sampingan, apakah dikenakan pajak? Kalau iya, apakah dasar perhitungan dari keuntungan atau pendapatan bruto? Dalam kurung, belum dikurangi biaya-biaya pembantu, air, keamanan, other maintenance maksudnya, dan lain-lain.
Oke, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Nah, di sini saya akan sedikit menjelaskan. Kalau untuk kos-kosan, jadi kalau misalnya wajib pajak ini hanya memiliki kegiatan usaha kos-kosan, kayak sewa kos-kosan, itu dia tidak bisa menggunakan, untuk pajaknya dia menggunakan pasal 10, menggunakan PPh final sewa, yaitu yang sebesar 10% kayak gitu. Nah, jadi dia tidak bisa menggunakan yang namanya, mungkin nanti saya akan menjelaskan yang namanya tarif UMKM yang 0,5%. Jadi untuk kos-kosan itu kita memperhitungkannya itu dari berapa nilai yang dia terima, uang terima sewanya itu dikali dengan 10%. Kayak gitu sih.
Oh, oke. Terima kasih, Sekar.
Ya,
boleh lanjut
lanjut
lagi.
ya. Oke.
Ya.
Sebentar. Ya, di sini saya akan lanjut. Saya akan sedikit menjelaskan tentang pajak penghasilan wajib pajak orang pribadi yang menggunakan formulir 1770. Di sini contohnya adalah UMKM atau usaha mikro kecil menengah. Nah, untuk tarif pajak UMKM ini sebesar 0,5% dari peredaran bruto. Jadi, misalnya saya memiliki usaha UMKM lah. Terus di bulan ini, di bulan Juni, saya memperoleh penghasilan atau omset sebesar 10 juta. Jadi pajak di bulan Juni yang harus saya bayar atau saya setor negara itu sebesar 50.000. 50.000 dari mana? Cara perhitungannya adalah 0,5% dikali dengan 10 juta. Jadi hasilnya itu adalah 50.000 yang harus saya setorkan ke kas negara kayak gitu. Dan untuk pajaknya ini tuh bersifat final gitu. Jadi bersifat final ini artinya sudah tidak perlu diperhitungkan lagi pada saat nanti kita tutup buku atau pada saat nanti kita akan melaporkan SPT tahunannya yang sebelum tanggal 31 Maret tahun berikutnya kayak gitu. Nah, di sini juga ada beberapa contoh yang bukan merupakan objek pajak dari PPh 0,5 ini. Contohnya adalah tenaga ahli yang melakukan pekerjaan bebas. Contohnya kayak tadi saya ada bilang, contohnya kayak misalnya dokter, terus ada konsultan, ada akuntan, notaris, terus mungkin juga ada kayak freelancer, ada pengacara, dan juga mungkin seniman atau masih banyak lainnya. Nah, untuk pekerjaan bebas ini dikenakan norma sebesar 50% dari total penghasilan selama 1 tahun. Dan ini digunakan kalau KLU-nya itu sudah diketahui. Nah, jika KLU-nya itu tidak diketahui, maka normanya itu sebesar 62,5%, kayak gitu. Nah, cara perhitungannya, untuk yang pekerja bebas itu sedikit berbeda dengan yang perhitungan UMKM, karena kita harus menghitung terlebih dahulu nih, berapa total penghasilan selama 1 tahunnya, kalau sudah ketahui, kita dikali dengan norma dulu. Normanya kita anggap di sini KL-nya sudah diketahui ya. Jadi kita pakai normanya yang 50%. Jadi misalnya selama 1 tahun itu penghasilan yang dia terima itu sebesar 500 juta, kita kali dengan normanya sebesar 50%, maka total penghasilan yang harus diperhitungkan pajaknya itu sebesar 250 juta. Nah, dari nilai 250 juta itu kita harus memperhitungkan dengan menggunakan pasal 17 ayat 1, yaitu sama dengan perhitungan untuk PPh 21. Jadi untuk range 0, penghasilan 0 sampai dengan 50 juta menggunakan kena tarif 5%, di atas 50 juta sampai dengan 250 juta dikenakan tarif 15%. Nah, karena tadi penghasilan kita yang menjadi dasar pajaknya itu sebesar 250 juta, jadi dia kena 2 tarif, yaitu tarif pertama sebesar 50 juta dikali 5%, kan 2.500.000. Nah, sisanya itu yang 200 juta dikaliin sama 15%. Kurang lebih 15%, jadi 200 juta dikali 15% itu 3 juta. Jadi total pajak yang harus dia bayar itu sebesar 5.500.000 kurang lebihnya kayak gitu untuk pajak terhutangnya kayak gitu. Nah, terus juga ada penghasilan yang diterima atau diperoleh dari luar negeri dan pajaknya sudah dibayarkan di sana. Itu tidak termasuk objek PPh 23. Dan yang terakhir, penghasilan yang telah dikenakan pajak final atau pajak yang bersifat final. Contohnya kayak tadi ada yang nanya kan, untuk perhitungan pajak kalau mempunyai kos-kosan gimana? Untuk pajaknya dia tidak bisa menggunakan tarif yang UMKM yang sebesar 0,5, tapi dia menggunakan kenapa? Karena dia sudah dipotong dengan tarif 10% dari tarif sewa menyewanya kayak gitu. Nah, lanjutnya saya akan sedikit menjelaskan tentang pembebasan pajak. Nah, di sini kenapa ada pembebasan pajak? Pemerintah memberikan keringanan untuk wajib pajak UMKM salah satunya selama pandemi corona ini. Untuk UMKM itu dibebaskan untuk pembayaran PPh-nya atau pajak penghasilannya selama 6 bulan. Berlaku mulai April 2020 sampai dengan September 2020. Jadi guna pembebasan ini adalah untuk meringankan wajib pajak yang terpapar dampak dari pandemi corona ini. Kita mengeluarkan pembebasan pajak atau bisa disebut dengan insentif pajak untuk UMKM kayak gitu. Tapi juga kita harus memperhatikan dulu nih, kita itu cocok atau layak nggak maksudnya untuk dapat pembebasan pajak ini, karena ada beberapa syarat yang harus kita penuhi terlebih dahulu. Misalnya aja kayak kita harus memastikan lagi omset kita itu tidak lebih dari 4,8 miliar per tahunnya. Terus kita juga sudah menggunakan tarif yang 0,5% atau PP 23. Kita juga sudah menyampaikan SPT tahunan tahun 2019. Terus juga kita sudah mengajukan permohonan surat keterangan PP 23 dan yang terakhir itu kita sudah melaporkan realisasi pajak finalnya melalui website pajak di www.pajak.go.id. Nah, kalau misalnya dari Bapak dan Ibu ada yang belum melaporkan SPT tahunannya atau SPT orang pribadi maupun SPT perusahaannya, itu kita bisa membantu kok. Caranya gimana mungkin nanti akan sedikit dijelaskan sama rekan saya, Novi, bagaimana caranya untuk cara kita membantu Bapak dan Ibu yang memerlukan bantuan kita kayak gitu. Mungkin bisa dibantu sama Novi.
Oke, Sekar, thank you. Aku
Ya.
share screen ya. Oke, sebelumnya thank you Sekar udah sharing tentang ketentuan pajak yang sedang berlaku dan sedikit mengenai pajak. Dan jika Bapak Ibu belum ada yang melaporkan pajak atau mau dibantu untuk pelaporan pajaknya, Profhab bisa membantu untuk pelaporan pajak mulai dari individu, tax individu, corporate, dan UMKM. Ya. Di sini ada beberapa ahli-ahli yang ada di Profhab dan termasuk accounting and finance. Selanjutnya saya akan show video bagaimana Profhab bisa membantu Bapak Ibu untuk pelaporan pajak melalui package yang ada di platform kami. Kita ada beberapa package, ada digital marketing, market research, tax, dan human resource. Kalau Bapak Ibu ingin dibantu untuk pelaporan pajak, bisa langsung klik package, pilih salah satu package, yang muncul package dan ada yang offer dari salah satu member. Selain dari package, Bapak Ibu juga bisa contact or offer proposal. Kalau dari package seperti ini bentuknya, jangan lupa dibaca terlebih dahulu apa saja isi dari package-nya, dan dipastikan member yang muncul adalah member yang sudah dipilih di awal tadi. Jika sudah, boleh attach file atau tambahan notes. Jika tidak ada, tidak masalah, lalu klik submit. Dan video selanjutnya, jika Bapak Ibu memiliki kualifikasi di accounting or tax, Bapak Ibu bisa mendaftarkan as a member menggunakan email. Ya, ini adalah video bagaimana member atau freelancer berpartisipasi di package and our platform. Seperti biasa dibaca terlebih dahulu sebelum klik I would like to offer this package. Jadi package yang muncul adalah package yang sesuai dengan industri yang member pilih ketika daftar di awal. Oke. Ya, seperti biasa untuk recording webinar akan otomatis dikirimkan by email di keesokan harinya, atau sore hari ini sudah ada di WhatsApp Profab. Boleh di-save dulu nomor WhatsApp-nya, ada di katalog kami, bisa dicek. Dan sering-sering cek sosial media, karena Profab akan share project atau specific skill yang diinginkan oleh klien by social media. Ya, jangan lupa untuk join in our next webinar. Dan biasanya juga di sosial media kita akan share flyer, link, dan barcode. Jadi bisa langsung registrasi. Semua yang registrasi akan dapat recordingnya walaupun di hari H tidak bisa join. Oke, mungkin ada pertanyaan lagi tentang pajak. Oh. Saya rasa belum ada. Kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan atau ada yang mau ditanyakan tentang Profab atau tentang pajak, bisa email support@profab.com atau by WhatsApp. Okay, I think that's all for today. Sebelumnya, I want to say thank you to Mr. Brian dan Ibu Sekar. See you next webinar. Thank you.